Well, hey everybody, we're here at the end of week 6, and we were just talking that it feels like we just got here, but also like it's been about an eternity. We're 2/3 of the way through. Crossover week is coming up. Again, that's the deadline where all the House bills have to be Senate and vice versa. A lot of action on a lot of bills this week, but let's start with some pro-life bills, Don.
Yeah, thank you, Norman. So, recently our Attorney General Marty Jackley was successful in a court decision, a court hearing at the federal level regarding Mayday, which is a chemical abortion pill provider. So the jurisdiction turns to our state jurisdiction, and that was basically the argument that he was making. So on top of that, and that's a win for life.
Huge.
Now, on top of that, this morning, the State Affairs Committee passed a bill dealing with the chemical abortion pills. And basically what it does is it creates really a criminal penalty for those pills to be distributed into the state. And so that's an important piece in fighting for life here in South Dakota. And then earlier in the week, we considered a bill that would have created embryo reporting, and that's for people that were considering in vitro fertilization. But the idea there was to provide some accountability for those that are, what are we doing with those embryos,
and what are the
and how many are
doing?
there? Yeah, the institution and how many are there. And we thought that was a good idea. It was really good data makes good decisions, but unfortunately the committee didn't see it that way. So we'll come back next year with something better.
And just recently on the House floor, just a few minutes ago, the age verification bill had a really strong vote, 50 yes votes. Again, this is the bill that simply says kids can't sign contracts. That's already the law. In the real world, that's how we act, but somehow in the digital world, we were pretending that didn't exist. So this would just say that there's going to be App Store age verification, and if little Johnny wants to download a Monster Truck game, mom or dad's phone is going to get a ping. Hey, mom and dad, as a legal consenting adult, do you consent to the terms and service of the Monster Truck game? Yes, no, move on with life. It was a really great bill, so that's out of the House, heads off to the Senate. So contact your senators. We want to get that one passed this year.
Right. And in the other side of the building, on the Senate side, today they considered a charter school bill, which would have allowed public school charter schools, and that failed yesterday, 17-17, and there was a reconsideration motion today to try and revive it. Unfortunately, that failed as well. So charter schools as an educational choice option are not going to happen in South Dakota this year.
And next we'll talk about another piece of legislation again here this week, this morning. We're just calling it the What is a Woman bill. Here in South Dakota, we've had debates over sports and restrooms and surgeries on little kids. So this is just one final, let's use man and woman, the biological definition, across all state actions. Whether that's prison policies, whether that's birth certificates, we've covered everything. That bill made it out of committee this morning, really strong vote, so it heads to the House floor.
Flipping back to a different kind of issue area, we considered this morning a debanking bill, and basically what that would do is would have prohibited large banks from denying a loan or calling a loan, not being willing to do business with somebody simply because of their political beliefs, and we've seen some situations where that's happened, at the candidly with some of the bigger banks.
Like missionaries having their money froze.
Unfortunately, that didn't go anywhere this year either, and so we'll have to see what happens in the future on that issue.
Yeah. Another bill we've been watching is dealing with the minimum marriage age. So last year there was a prohibition on anyone getting married at 16 or 17, which we can mostly agree, like it's not often wise to get married that young. But if the two people are committed to each other and if mom and dad are on board, like, should it be never? That's not necessarily the state's role. Right. This year there was a different bill that says, okay, if both parents are on board or maybe a judge signs off, things like that, some more, call it regulations to make sure there's not abuse of that concept or someone's not forced into it. So that's when we're watching as it's going through, a different take from what we had last year.
Also on the Senate side, they considered and passed a bill dealing with parental rights, to strengthen parental rights in decision making about their children, whether that be medical or sometimes in other areas as well. That basically it reaffirmed that the parents should be the decision makers there, and so that passed that chamber, and it'll head over to the House.
And then one final bill we were glad to see defeated this year, and this week actually, was another video lottery increase that was attempted. They would have increased the bet limit, and they said with the extra dollars we can go reduce property taxes. And I don't know about you, but I want my property taxes reduced, but I don't want to see a line item on there, hey, we reduced your property taxes by X amount of dollars because we took money from an addict. That's a poor way to reduce taxes, by taking more dollars from someone who's struggling. So we were glad to see that measure go down.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, and I just want to remind everybody that the reason we're here is, you know, we're fighting for the family, and we're fighting for life. And so any bills that we engage in, any issues we engage in, have to point to that as the reason why. And so we appreciate your efforts, appreciate you paying attention, and hope that you'll continue to engage to support our efforts.
Yep, and you can go to our legislative radar at familyvoiceaction.org, see all the different bills we're tracking. It also makes it really easy to contact your representative or senator. You just put in your address, connects you right to them, makes it fast and easy. Talk to you next week, guys.